Presently, the pension scheme which is followed by the government is the National Pension Scheme or the National Pension System. But now we are seeing that in many states it has been followed that the government wants to shift back to the old pension scheme instead of the National Pension Scheme. Hello and welcome to the In Focus series section of Drishti IAS. I am Aisha Singh, and in today's video we will be discussing about the old pension scheme and the new pension scheme. What is the difference between them and why is it that the old pension scheme is being brought back by the governments and the national pension scheme is taken back. So let us first look at the timeline of the video. First we will be looking at the news, then about the old pension scheme and what were the issues with the old pension scheme, that the new pension system was brought, then about the new pension system, what is the present data regarding the new pension system and about its implementation. In the end, a prelims MCQ. This topic is of relevance from General Studies paper 2, Government Policies. See, from exam perspective, the only thing you need to know about is the old pension scheme and the new pension scheme and few of its features, because that is what can be asked and that is what you can quote as an example in your mains answer writing. So let's get started and see the news. The news has been taken from Indian Express and it says why the old pension scheme is both bad economics and bad politics. We will not go into the political angle. What we will stick ourselves to is from the exam perspective. That is about the old pension scheme and about the new pension scheme. So let us first see that what is going on. So recently what has happened is the political parties are promising to switch to the old pension scheme. So presently the national pension scheme is in implementation by the government and the old pension scheme was waived off in 2004. But now we are seeing that in many states the political parties are trying to get back to the old pension scheme and move away from the present national pension scheme. And the old pension scheme has already been brought back in Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh, and the Aam Party has also said that they will do the same in Punjab. So let us first see that what is old pension scheme and what are the issues that why it was waived off. So let us look at the old pension scheme. So old pension scheme is a pension scheme. See, why is pension important or why is it that people want pension? See, when a person gets to its retirement age, for example 60 years. So when a person gets to 60 years and then after the retirement life, what will be the source of income for that person? So a salaried individual who was working till the age of 60 now wants something to sustain their livelihood. So that is why they were so dependent on the pension and people wanted pension. So pension is a particular amount which a person receives every month. So pension to government employees at the center as well as states. So the old pension scheme was for government employees who were working with the government both at the center and as well as at the state. And the old pension scheme was fixed at 50% of the last drawn basic pay. See, first of all, let me tell you that if someone says that they are getting salary of 1 lakh rupees per month, but that 1 lakh rupees does not mean that 1 lakh rupees is the basic pay. There is a difference between gross salary and the basic pay. Basic pay is a certain amount of which 50% of which the person will receive as its pension. So do not go that whatever amount the person is receiving in its hand or in hand salary, that is not what is basic pay. Basic pay is something else and the gross salary is composed of many other components and that becomes its gross salary. So this is 50% of the last drawn basic pay. It means if the person is retiring from 1 July 2022, then they will see that what is the last drawn salary or what is the last drawn basic pay by the person, and of that 50% will be given in the pension. And say for example, if someone has a basic monthly salary of 10K, so if a person is receiving a salary and its basic pay is 10K, okay, fine. See, imagine you are an government employee, then your salary is 50K, or you can say your salary is 30K, and out of the 30K, the basic pay which you receive is 10K. So 10K is your basic pay. So the 50% of 10K becomes 5K. So after your retirement, this 5K is what which you will receive the pension. So if the monthly salary and the basic pay is 10K, then the pension will be 5K. That means 50% of that 10K. And the attraction of the old pension scheme, the biggest attraction of the old pension scheme was that it gave an assured and a defined benefit to the retiree. It means that the person is safe, the person is secured that he or she will receive a defined income every single month after he or she gets retired from his job. So that was the biggest attraction, because this is what gave people the confidence that they can sustain, that they can live a good life even after they get retired from their job. And the monthly payouts of pension are also increased. See, what used to happen is, whenever the government increases the dearness allowance or the income of the person or the salary of the government employees, then it's not that only the salary of the present government employees used to increase. The pensions, the pension also increases with a person, because with time, with inflation rates and with the time passage that is going on, the pension is also increased. And this is what was one of the biggest benefits that the people were receiving, that the monthly payout of pensions was also increased with time. And there was hike in the dearness allowance also. So all these things is what makes the old pension scheme extremely lucrative to people, and that is why the government wants to shift back to the old pension scheme, because that is what gave them the security and the benefit that yes, they can feel secured even after they are retired from their job. So you need to remember that this was both for center and state employees. 50% of the last basic pay, I am again repeating, it is the basic pay, and whenever the government employee salary increases and the dearness allowance increases, the pension was also increasing at the same time. Now let us see that what was the issues that with the old pension scheme, that the government shifted from the old pension scheme towards the new pension scheme. So the longer lifespan, meaning more pension payout. So the biggest problem with government was becoming that as the more and more number of retirees was increasing, the pension payout from the government exchequer was also increasing, and this payout is what was also increasing the burden of the government, because they need to find out a new source of income so that they will be able to pay the pensions also. And this is where the imbalance was happening, because the incoming was not as expected as the outgoing, and plus the outgoing was increasing also with time. And in the event of the death of the pensioner, their spouses were entitled for a portion of the pension. So even if the person is no more, then their spouse will get the pension. So this is what also was putting a lot of burden on the government exchequer. The massive pension burden on the union and state government. Pension liability remains unfunded. This is the foremost point, that the problem was that if government wants to continue with the pension scheme, then they need to find a way who can fund the pension. That is there appropriate measures that they can receive that much of amount, because every single year the pension amount was kept on increasing, and this is what was creating the problem on the government exchequer, because the incoming, or you can say the receipts, was not that much as the expenditure was becoming. So the pension liability remained unfunded is one of the most prominent factors or the reasons for the closure of the old pension scheme. And plus the old pension scheme was becoming unsustainable from the government's end, that they cannot keep on funding this much of amount on their own, and they had to find a new ways every year or so, so that the burden which was putting on to the government exchequer can be sustained. So the scheme was unsustainable. Then came the national pension system. But before this, let us look at this chart, that the galloping pension bill. From this you will be able to understand that how much burden the pensions was putting onto the government exchequer. Okay, the blue line is for states while the red line is for center. So see this chart, this is the data of 1990 to 1991. So from states the pension outgoing was 3,131 crores, while in center in 1990-91 the outgoing of pension was 3,272 crore. But with time, if you will see that the pension outgoing is increasing. The pension outgoing is increasing, and from 1990-91, if you will see 2010-11, then the amount is huge. From states it is 1,08,514 crores, while from center it is more than 73,000 crores. While if you will see 2020-21, it is more than 3 lakh crore and 2 lakh crore. So this is what, see the exponential growth. So from where the government is gonna arrange this amount, or from where the government is gonna fund this amount, was becoming a huge problem for the government. And that is why in 2004 the old pension scheme was closed and a new pension scheme was started. Then the new pension scheme or the national pension system or the national pension scheme started in January 2004, and it was started except for the armed forces. So this becomes an important point, that you need to know that it was started for everyone except for the armed forces people. And the national pension scheme was launched as a way for the government to get rid of the pension liabilities, because this pension liabilities, as I've told you, was putting a lot of burden, is one of the major issues. Whenever you have to write about the issues that why it got closed, why the old pension scheme got closed, you have to write about the government was not getting the funding liability, and plus secondly it was putting a lot of burden on the exchequer. These are the two main reasons. Apart from that, you can write that this was unsustainable and all the other reasons. Then the Central Civil Services Pension Rules 1972 was amended to get the national pension system, and the age to subscribe the national pension system is between 18 to 60 years, and any withdrawal from the NPS trust is exempted up to 60% of the total amount payable. So it means, see what happens in the difference between old pension scheme and national pension system or the new pension system is that in the old pension system every month you had to receive some amount, but in the national pension system what you could do, out of the 100% amount that you put in it, you cannot take out in one go the 100% amount. You will first get the 60% amount, and the rest 40% amount you can choose that how you want in the form of pension. So this was what the difference is. 60% you can get in one go, while the rest 40% you can decide that how you want in the form of pension. And the national pension system allows subscribers to decide where they want to invest their money, because the different criteria are given by contributing regularly in a pension account. So NPS started in 2004, except for the armed forces, it was for everyone. It got rid of pension liability. Central Civil Service Rules 1972 was amended. Age group is 18 to 60. The person can get up to 60% of the total amount payable. Then you can invest in different criteria, that is, and the defined contribution comprised 10% of the basic salary and DA by employee and government. See, in the starting, when the national pension system came into existence, so it was the 10% of the basic salary that a person was keeping in the NPS, and plus the government was also contributing the same amount. But in 2019, this rule of 10% got changed and the government increased its contribution to 14%. This is an important point, that in the starting the government contribution was 10%, but after that the government contribution increased to 14%. And the individuals can also choose from a range of scheme from low risk to high risk. The point which I was talking here was that it allows subscribers to decide where they want to invest their money. So that choice of investing is from low risk to high risk. So you can get the option of whether you want to invest in low risk or medium risk or high risk, or you want to invest which type of equity you want to invest. These are the different options that a person can choose. Then schemes under the NPS are offered by 9 pension fund managers, and these are the 9 pension fund managers, which are SBI, LIC, UTI, HDFC, ICICI, Kotak Mahindra, Aditya Birla, Tata and Max. Now let us talk about the data regarding the national pension system. You do not have to mug up this data, just look at the numbers. So till October 31, 2022, the central government had 23,32,774 subscribers in the NPS, while the states had 58 lakh subscribers. And if we talk about the corporate sector, because the NPS is not only available for the government employees, the private individuals can also take part in the NPS and can also subscribe NPS. Then the corporate sector had 15 lakh around subscriptions, while the unorganized sector has subscriptions, and 41 lakh around subscribers under the NPS Swabhalamban scheme. So you can understand that NPS has a big data with itself, and now the few of the government are saying that they want to move away from the NPS and again start the old pension scheme, because in the old pension scheme there is no tax liability, and with every month the person used to receive some amount or other. Then let's talk about the implementation part of the NPS. But you people, listen to me, you do not go into the political aspect, just read about the old pension scheme and the new pension scheme or the national pension scheme, that is NPS. Do not go into what the governments are doing or what is going on in one state or what is going on in another state. That is not something which you have to focus on. Then implementation part of NPS. So NPS is being implemented and regulated. Very important point from exam perspective. You need to know who is regulating and who is implementing the NPS. Then it is PFRDA, which is Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority. So who is implementing and regulating the NPS in India? It is PFRDA. And the National Pension System Trust, which is NPST, it is established by the PFRDA and is registered owner of all assets under the NPS. So who is the registered owner of all the assets under the NPS? It is the National Pension System Trust. Now let us talk about a prelims MCQ, and you people need to tell me the answer in the comment section. And this is an UPSC PYQ which was asked in 2017. So the question says, who among the following can join the National Pension System, which is NPS? See, this NPS has always been in news, and this is something which you need to know. So focus on the old pension scheme and the new pension scheme, and like move away from all the other aspects. So who among the following can join the National Pension System? Resident Indian citizens only, persons of age from 21 to 55 only, all state government employees joining the services after the date of notification by the respective state governments, or all central government employees including those of armed forces joining the services on or after 1st April 2004. I think you will be able to do this one by following the elimination method. You can do this easily. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Till we meet next time, keep reading and keep writing.